Where are you going? Happy hour's just starting. Aris couldn't help but ask, as he watched his cousin Seth standing up from their booth with a gorgeous woman on his arm. Just making out, Seth answered casually. Thunder and Cloudy Boy are on their way, but if they ask, give them some useless excuse. They're too gullible anyway. Aris rolled his eyes. Fine, I'll handle it. Just come back soon, all right? Seth walked off with the woman he'd met at the club they regularly hung out in. He took her to the VIP room to carry out their plans. Meanwhile, Ravenna was in a heated make-out session of her own with a guy she'd also met at the club that night. His hands started to roam her thighs, moving dangerously close to her inner area when her phone rang unexpectedly. Breathless, she paused the kiss. 15 minutes. Make-out done. The guy chuckled. Can we extend it? That was too short. Ravenna smiled seductively and smoothed the wrinkles out of his shirt, wiping lipstick from his cheek. Sorry, big guy. No extensions. I have a rule. 15 minutes per make-out, no more. Damn! Was I any good? If I had to rate it, 7.1 out of 10. A little underwhelming, she replied bluntly. You can leave now. After he left, Ravenna faced the bathroom mirror and fixed her appearance, retouching her makeup before walking out. There's our girl, said Peding, as Ravenna rejoined her friends at their lounge. So how was the 15-minute make-out? Honey teased. 7.1 out of 10. I got bored after 5 minutes. Ravenna replied. I'm so bored, guys. Super bored. By the way, Rav, Honey said with a mischievous grin, changing the subject. I just saw him. Ravenna crossed her legs and sipped her margarita. All her friends turned to look in the direction Honey was referencing. Ravenna followed their gaze and spotted him. He's early, still handsome as ever, she muttered. We all know he's a playboy. How long are you going to keep flirting with Seth? Honey teased again. I'm working on it. He's the untouchable king, Ravenna quipped. Girl, he's immune to flirtation, Gemini added playfully. You won't get him. Funny, Gemini. I believe in the saying, good things come to those who wait. Don't count me out just yet, Ravenna said confidently. Her 3 friends laughed in unison. Girl, you're being so old school, Gemini commented before dramatically sipping her martini. I'm gonna go flirt with my future husband, Ravenna said with a wink. She stood up with her empty glass and sauntered towards Seth's booth, where he sat with his cousin. Every eye in the room followed Ravenna's strut. She flipped her hair and gave a flirty little pout to capture Seth's attention, who didn't even bother looking up. Hi, she greeted casually. Seth's companion raised a brow, clearly unimpressed. Ravenna de la Fontaine, the word quit isn't in your vocabulary, is it? Seth said with a smirk. Nope, I don't even think that word exists, Ravenna replied confidently. You're naughty, real naughty, Seth teased, clearly enjoying himself. Naughty, yes, especially if it's you, she said, not missing a beat. Snap out of it, Rav. You can't have me, he said, amused. Watch me. One morning you'll wake up and you'll be mine. She blew him a flying kiss before walking away, a sly smile on her lips. When she returned to her booth, the playful grin was still on her face. What's so funny, Rav? Gemini asked. Nothing, Ravenna replied, giggling. I was just thinking, Seth is like a padlocked heart, so damn hard to access. Why not try harder, Rav? Honey said. Make him fall for you, whatever it takes. What? I'm not trying to make him fall for me. I'm just teasing him, Ravenna corrected. Where are Shella and Honey? Gemini asked. Don't change the subject. You're not trying to make him fall. Then what are you doing? Honey pressed. You're wasting time. I should dare you, Gemini cut in. Make him fall for you, for real. Remind me to slap you the next time you say stuff like that, Ravenna said, narrowing her eyes at her friend. Come on, you just need to make him yours, Gemini insisted. Don't you see? No matter what I do, he won't budge, Ravenna said, frustrated. At this point, I'm borderline obsessed. Maybe your charm just doesn't work on him, Gemini teased. Very funny, I can pull any man out there, except him. Seth Austin Montgomery, the great untouchable king, Ravenna huffed. Sounds like you're backing down, Gemini said with a raised eyebrow. Back down? In your dreams. I'll prove to you that even Seth won't be able to resist my charm. Then let the games begin, Gemini laughed. The battle between the great untouchable playboy and the charismatic playgirl starts now. Ravenna just groaned at her friend's dramatics. The next evening, Ravenna set her plan in motion, the one she and Gemini had schemed the night before. She went to the club alone, knowing the Montgomery cousins would be there. Among all her previous flings, seducing Seth Montgomery was proving to be the most difficult. You can do this, Rav, she told herself. Just think of him like the rest. Easy target. But this is Seth. Expect the unexpected. She stepped out of her car and entered the club. Several guys recognized her immediately, but her eyes were scanning the place for one person only, her target for the night. There's my target, she whispered, taking a deep breath as she walked toward his direction. Nice to see you here, Rav, one guy said as she passed by his table. She simply smiled and kept walking. When she got close enough, Seth's eyes immediately found hers. You're here again, he said. Ravenna simply smiled and took the seat next to him. I never left, Seth. When have you ever seen me avoid you? You act more dramatic than a girl, he smirked. I mean, I'm the one being chased here. What do you want me to offer? She said, grabbing his bourbon-filled glass and taking a sip. That's strong, she muttered. So what do you want me to offer, huh? Are you still a virgin? Seth asked, deadpan. Ravenna's brows shot up at the question. She stood, clearly irritated, glaring down at him as he casually held her gaze. Are you serious? Am I not? He answered. Ravenna burst out laughing, irritated beyond measure. Why? So you can try it out? Wouldn't you like to know? He said, with a mischievous smile. I'm not done with you, Seth, she snapped. Next time, you're finished. Come on, Rav, you're just upset. Admit it. Your seduction strategy doesn't work on me. You're dealing with me, the playboy. Yeah? Watch me, Ravenna said. And FYI, I'm not upset. You're not? Then I guess I just beat you tonight. Ravenna fumed and stomped away, smoke practically blowing from her ears. What does he think I am, some desperate groupie? She muttered to herself. Just because he's hot and I like him doesn't mean I'll roll over for him. I have to get even. She was still stewing with rage the next day when she vented to Gemini. This isn't funny, Gem. It's infuriating. You're just too easy to rattle, Rav, Gemini said, laughing. What did you expect? Seth is good at pushing buttons. He's a master at it, and I'm the freaking slave, Ravenna groaned. I'm gonna get him back. Can you believe he asked if I was a virgin? Well, you're obviously into him, Rav, and he's probably seen your tricks before. Maybe he thinks you're old school. Let him think what he wants. I'm going to make him mine. Good luck. You'll need it, Gemini replied. Ravenna rolled her eyes and left Gemini's apartment. She had a new plan. She was heading to the company owned by Seth's family, certain he'd be there. When she arrived, she walked right in and headed straight to his office. There she saw something that made her blood boil. Seth, locked in a kiss with a woman sitting on his lap, his father's secretary. The woman scrambled out of the room as soon as she saw Ravenna. Seriously? Even here? Ravenna said mockingly. Does your dad know you're fooling around with his employees? What are you doing here, Rav? Came to see you. You're so naughty, aren't you? She said sarcastically. I've told you, you can't seduce me. But remember, I have my ways, Seth. I'll win you, eventually. She walked toward him, slowly running her thumb across his lips. I don't kiss dirty lips, Daddy, she said, before turning her back on him. I'll see you later, she called out as she reached for the door. Before she could open it, Seth grabbed her wrist and cornered her near the doorway. You really don't give up, do you? He murmured. So what if I play your game? Think you can handle me? Why don't you try me? She shot back. This is all a game to both of us anyway. May the best player win. Seth grinned. Really? Ravenna gasped softly as he placed a hand on her waist, her whole body tensed, cheeks heating up. I can already make you tremble just by touching your waist, Seth whispered. If you want to play with me, you better be smarter than me. Make me feel what you're feeling now, and maybe you'll win. Ravenna broke free from his grip, flashing a daring smile without a hint of surrender. Seth just shook his head, already replaying the scene in his mind as she walked away. He couldn't help the smile forming on his lips. You're going crazy, said Aris, who had just walked in. Why are you smiling like that? I'm not smiling. You totally are. What's wrong with you? Nothing. What are you doing here? Leave me alone, Aris. Fine. Geez, touchy. You're so easy to piss off, Seth, Aris said, laughing. Anyway, I'm heading to the club later. You coming? Why? Don't you have some boring study crap to do? Maybe. Whatever. I'm bringing Pierre. Don't ask why I'm going, all right? Across town, Ravenna also headed to the same club. This time, she only had Shella and Honey with her. Gemini had a family meeting. Rav, we'll be upstairs, okay? You sure you'll be fine here? Shella asked as Ravenna danced alone on the dance floor. Yeah, I'm fine. Ravenna nodded. The girls headed upstairs, while Ravenna made her way to the bar to order some hard drinks. Not long after, she saw the group she'd been waiting for, the Montgomery cousins, Aris, Pierre, and, of course, Seth. There he is, my damn hot future husband, she muttered as the alcohol started to kick in. Ravenna, feeling the buzz of the alcohol, called out with a slur in her voice. Hi! Hi, I'm Aris Montgomery. This is Pierre. One of the cousins introduced them. Oh, the bad boy, the playboy, and the heartbreaker. It's an honor to meet you all, Ravenna said cheekily, then turned to Seth. So, Seth, do you dance? Let's have a little workout. She pointed to the dance floor. Go home, Ravenna. You're drunk, Seth said firmly, his tone low but sharp. I'm not. Just tipsy, she giggled. He ignored her and walked away with his cousins, heading to their usual lounge. Instantly, a couple of women came over to join them. Ravenna rolled her eyes and headed back to the counter, frowning. She ordered another hard drink. Glancing over at their booth, she tried again, and failed to steal Seth's attention. Her jealousy only grew when she noticed him talking to another woman. As the electronic pop music kicked in, Ravenna, thoroughly intoxicated, she had completely forgotten her goal of getting Seth's attention. Lost in the alcohol haze, she just danced, trying to enjoy the night alone. But then, someone held her by the waist and started dancing with her, matching her moves. Hey, are you with somebody? A man's voice asked. Ravenna turned to see who it was and looped her arms around his neck. Nope, I'm alone, sad and alone. She pouted dramatically. The man laughed, and they kept dancing. Do you want to get out of here? Are you going to take me home? Ravenna asked, her voice clearly drunk. If that's what you want, he replied. Ravenna laughed softly. Moments later, she found herself locked in a deep kiss with the stranger she'd just met. His hands started to roam more boldly, but before he could touch anything private, They both heard a loud, deliberate throat-clearing sound. Ravenna couldn't make out who it was, but the guy clearly got scared and ran off without another word. "Hey, we're not done yet," Ravenna called out, confused and tipsy. "I'll take you home," said the man who'd interrupted them, his tone firm and unamused. "Huh? Who the hell are you? Why'd you chase him away? Who do you think you are?" "You're ugly," she slurred angrily. But before she could step away, she suddenly felt herself being lifted off the ground. She tried to focus, but her vision was too blurred from the alcohol. Seth sighed deeply as he lay Ravenna down on his bed later that night. She was sound asleep. Earlier, he'd been boiling with anger, seeing her making out with that guy, completely wasted and vulnerable. "Hey, Jem, don't worry. She's with me. I brought her to my condo. She's asleep, dead drunk," Seth said during a phone call. "Thanks a lot, Seth. Don't you dare try anything with my best friend, or I swear I'll feed you to the sharks my aunt keeps," Gemini warned. Seth laughed. "Don't worry, girl. I'm harmless and handsome." "Whatever, just take care of her," Gemini said before hanging up. Seth went back to his room to check on Ravenna. He sat beside her on the bed and removed her heels, placing them neatly by the side. Suddenly, Ravenna pulled him close, and he had to grip the edge of the bed tightly to keep from accidentally kissing her. "You know, I'm getting tired of Seth. Maybe I should protest too," she mumbled. She suddenly sat up, just inches from his face, and smiled with her eyes still closed. "Rav, I can't play with you. I can't hurt you. You're a playgirl, but this won't work. Our worlds don't mix. I like you, Ravenna," Seth admitted quietly. She giggled, pinched his nose, and leaned in close. Seth flinched to avoid a kiss. "Rav, you're still drunk." Instead of kissing him, she threw up on his face. "Ugh, you're so, ugh! Rav!" Seth groaned in disgust. He heard her little giggle before she passed out completely. "You're unbelievable," he muttered, shaking his head with a laugh as he wiped himself clean. Then, he leaned down and kissed her forehead gently. "Sweet dreams are." Ravenna woke up with a throbbing headache. Her skull felt like it might explode at any moment. "My head." "Oh, God," she muttered, blinking as her eyes adjusted to the unfamiliar room. The scent of the comforter wasn't familiar either. She pulled it down and sighed in relief when she saw that her clothes were still on. "So, you're awake," said Seth from the living room, seated at a table littered with papers. "Take a shower. You smell like booze, and vomit." You didn't do anything to me, right?" she asked warily, narrowing her eyes. "Oh, please, Rav. I'm not that kind of guy," Seth replied. "You're the one who flirts with everyone, but if I get jealous, you'll regret it." "You'd be a terrifying husband," she snapped sarcastically. "Then you better get to know me before we get married," he smirked. "Ugh, whatever." She stomped to the bathroom just outside Seth's bedroom, but as she undressed, she smacked her forehead in frustration. She didn't have any clothes to change into. She stepped back out wearing just a bra and underwear, not even bothering to wrap herself in a towel. When Seth looked up and saw her, he nearly jumped from his seat. "Ravenna, why the hell are you walking around like that? Put something on." "I don't have clothes. Let me borrow something," she said casually. "What the? Ravenna! Put a towel on," he barked, swallowing hard. "Oh, relax. It's not like you've never seen a woman like this. Every girl you've taken to bed has been naked, right?" She winked. "Just let me borrow a shirt. I'll return it later." "Fine, use one of my shirts," he said, flustered. "Is it hot in here or are you just sweating?" she teased as she winked again, then disappeared into his room. Instead of going back to the bathroom, she walked out wearing one of his oversized white shirts. Seth flinched when she came close, accidentally knocking a few papers off the table. "Love, it sounds so good when you call me that," she said, leaning in. "Call me again." Ravenna, he warned. I'm not leaving, she said in a bratty tone. Say my name again. Say it, Daddy Seth. Seth was speechless, stunned not only by her words, but by the fact that she didn't seem scared or shy at all. Yes, Daddy Seth, I'm seducing you, she said, full of charm. Go home, Rav. She bit her lip and moved even closer. Seth clenched his fists, struggling against temptation. Their locked gazes might have led to more, if not for the sudden knock on the door. They scrambled to compose themselves as the door opened, and in walked Seth's mother, with Aris behind her, grinning ear to ear. Hi, Mrs. Montgomery, Ravenna said sweetly. What's going on here? His mum asked sharply. Seth jumped up and shoved Ravenna toward the exit. I'll explain later, Mum. Ravenna was just leaving. Aris, take her downstairs, now, Seth added. Yes, ma'am, Aris said with a wide grin. Ravenna blew a kiss into the air before stepping out of the condo. She wasn't even surprised when she called Gemini later, and her best friend acted like a complete fangirl, squealing and screaming on the other end of the line. So, what's the next step, Rav? You got close to him. Time to get closer. I will, Ravenna said, but I need another chance, a planned, accidental one. You're crazy, girl. You really put your feelings aside, huh? You slay, Gemini said. It's not easy. God, if only you knew. He's so hot up close. Okay, good luck on Operation Seth, Gemini laughed. Fighting! Ravenna lay on her bed, deep in thought. That's when she realized she left her sling bag at Seth's condo. Oh, Seth, destiny's really working in my favor. 2 days later, she showed up at his condo again. He had no idea she was coming. She cooked lunch for him, and when she heard the door open, she grinned. She could tell by the footsteps that he was heading toward the kitchen. Hi, Daddy, miss me? She called out cheerfully. How did you get in? I told the security guard I'm your wife. Said we just got divorced last week because you cheated on me. He totally believed it. Of course, the building guard had access to the emergency key that Seth had authorized. You really won't give up, will you? Nope, say it. I'm yours, she teased. You wish. Oh, really? Okay, whatever. I'm cooking lunch for my playboy future husband. You actually stocked food in my condo? Seth looked bewildered. Of course, this place is like a hangout. Your dishes and silverware are still practically new. You never use them. Seth sighed. I come here to study cases. I can focus better here. You really want to be a lawyer that bad? She asked, making a face. You have to memorize 1,000,000 laws and study tons of cases, on top of being the heir to your parents' company. Doesn't that stress you out? I can handle it. I'm multitasking, studying law and learning our business at the same time. Wow, and here I thought juggling women was your only talent, Ravenna teased. Seth gave her a serious look. You're good at cooking. Oh, please, don't jinx it. You might hate it. She set down the food she'd cooked, squid simmered in coconut cream, along with rice, and began arranging the plates. Taste it. What is it? Is this squid? Yes, Daddy Seth, squid in coconut cream. I know what that is, just never heard of it cooked this way. Usually I just eat canned squid or regular adobo. So you finally tasted something homemade, she teased. Mr. Playboy eats canned food. What's wrong with that? He said, taking a bite. Nothing, but it's not healthy. You need balance. It's delicious, perfectly balanced, not overcooked, just right. That's my specialty. Glad you like it. Thanks for the compliment. By the way, the shirt you borrowed is in the closet. Thanks for the lunch, huh? You're welcome, but nothing's changed. You'll still keep brushing me off. Oh, I remember everything you said when you were drunk. He smirked. What? What did I say? You said you really, really like me. That you're insanely jealous whenever I'm around other women. No, that's a lie. I never say stuff like that when I'm drunk. Really? Because that's exactly what I heard, Seth said, laughing. I said no such thing. You're making it up. Stop denying it, Rav. He leaned in. You want me. Ravenna stood quickly, suddenly awkward, but just as she turned, she tripped and fell right into him. Their lips met in a brief, unexpected kiss. Electricity surged through her body. She bolted upright, eyes wide. I'm going home. I'll take you, Seth stammered. He couldn't even look her in the eye, heart pounding from the accidental kiss. 2 months had passed since their accidental kiss, and Seth and Ravenna had been spending more and more time together. Nothing official had changed between them, but without realizing it, they were slowly discovering things about each other and falling into the very game they had started. Over those 2 months of teasing and banter, they had grown close. Ravenna was now a frequent visitor to Seth's condo, and sometimes their conversations grew deeply personal. Seth no longer knew if Ravenna's charm was simply a strategy or if it was really affecting him. Now that they had become more familiar with each other, the line between game and reality blurred. So, what's your date for the upcoming cruise party? Seth's mom asked during a family dinner. They were seated at the dining table with the whole family. I'm going alone, Mom. Is it required to have a date? He asked casually. Oh, Seth, my son, yes. And besides, you're getting older. When are you getting married? Please, he groaned. What about Ravenna de la Fontaine? His mum said with a gleam in her eye. Aris told me you're always with her. I've always loved that girl, sassy, elegant, and gorgeous. Mum, Ravenna and I are just friends, I guess. Are you hiding something from me, son? Nope. I ask Ravenna if she can accompany you then, since you clearly won't, his mother said. Come on, you love her, right? Mum, I'm not. It's complicated. Complicated to accept, you mean? Seth, it's normal. There's nothing wrong with loving someone. There's also nothing to lose by being honest about it. Let's just finish dinner, Seth replied, brushing off the topic. His mother just smiled at him knowingly. After dinner, Seth wasted no time and called Ravenna to meet him at his place. Seth, I don't know anyone at that event, she protested. Besides, I'll just ruin your night. You're representing your family's company. I wasn't even planning to go, Seth replied, but my mom asked me to, and you're the only one I want as my date. Why not ask one of your ex-flings? You've got plenty to choose from. Really, Rav? I don't want to go with anyone else. Besides, I'm not in the mood to party. Don't worry, I'll stay here and watch over your unit. Go enjoy the party, she offered, while they prepared food in his kitchen. Come on, we're friends, right? So, be my date. Who said that? I did, and it's just one night. You should take advantage of it because I won't be this generous again. Wow, you're full of yourself. Unless you enjoy having me around, that's why you're not mad when I let you hang out here. Because you already want me, she teased. Come on, Seth, you love me. What in your dreams are, he muttered. I told you, seducing you with flirting strategies doesn't work unless I prove that what I said when I was drunk was true. Okay, fine, my food's burning, she shouted, rushing to the stove. Seth smirked at her and chuckled even more when she rolled her eyes at him. He didn't understand his feelings whenever she was around. Every touch, every stare from Ravenna sent a jolt of electricity through his entire system. Even his heart couldn't stay calm. When the day of the cruise party came, they arrived together, since Seth had finally convinced Ravenna to go. Their entrance turned heads immediately. A few hours later, Seth excused himself and stepped away from the main deck of the cruise ship. He stayed below, brooding. Ravenna was with Gemini, who came as Aris's date. "What are you doing down here?" Aris asked from behind, surprising Seth. "You scared me." "You should be thankful I didn't jump scare you." "Why are you here?" Seth asked, annoyed. Aris handed him a champagne flute. "So I hear you don't hang out at clubs anymore. Is that because of her?" Seth didn't answer. "I underestimated her. It's been more than 2 months, man. Her presence makes you more comfortable, doesn't it?" Seth looked away. "Back when you could resist her charm, now you act like you're losing your mind whenever she's around." Seth finally spoke. "Since that business event where I first saw her, and then seeing her at the club, I started going to clubs just to catch a glimpse of her." "You love her?" Seth shook his head. "How can you say that?" "To be honest, Seth, even I don't really know what love is. But people say, when you're in the clouds, when her presence makes you breathe easier, that's something. Maybe I've just gotten used to her." "It's not love, right?" Aris asked. "I don't know," Seth admitted. "She'll eventually get over you. You know," Aris added, "all the De La Fontaine women get married to the men chosen for them. She won't chase you forever." Seth didn't reply. As he headed back upstairs, he ran into Ravenna halfway up the stairs. "There you are," she said. "Everyone's been looking for you. Why are you down here?" Seth reached out and tucked a loose strand of her hair behind her ear. Ravenna flinched slightly at the sudden contact. He noticed her reaction and slowly pulled his hand back. "Sir, what's happening here?" A voice interrupted them. They both turned toward the familiar tall man, Azel, someone Ravenna knew. "I thought you weren't coming," Ravenna said, clearly stunned. "As if I had a choice. Gian dragged me here. My phone's been ringing non-stop. My cousins thought my wife was calling." Azel grumbled. He looked at Ravenna, who offered a polite smile to diffuse the tension. "I should get going," Ravenna said, breaking the awkwardness and walking away without looking back. Her heart was pounding in her chest, racing with a force she couldn't explain. "It's not what you think, Azel," Seth called out after her, his voice tense. Ravenna kept walking, trying to escape the overwhelming awkwardness. Her heart was still racing, and she needed to calm it down. She grabbed another glass of champagne, then another, to keep herself from looking back toward the table where she knew Seth and his cousins were seated. Out of the corner of her eye, she could feel Seth's gaze fixed on her. A few moments later, Azel approached her and invited her back to their table. She was about to decline until she saw Gemini had returned from the restroom and had gone straight to the Montgomery cousins' table, so she agreed to sit with Azel instead. They were all having fun, laughing, drinking. Pierre had a girl on his arm. Aris and Gemini sat close together, and Azel and Gian were chatting along with the rest. Ravenna couldn't read Seth's expression. He sat stiffly, jaw clenched, staring at her in silence. "You two are good together," said the woman with Pierre, glancing at Ravenna and Azel. "We're not," Ravenna replied quickly. "I don't like playboys." Seth stood up and walked toward her. Ravenna instinctively stepped back, feeling the shift in energy around them. His cousins gave knowing smirks, clearly enjoying the tension. "What do you think you're doing?" she asked, her heart hammering. Seth didn't answer. His stare was intense, unreadable. He stepped closer. Ravenna wanted to run, but her feet wouldn't move. Her whole body felt frozen. She gasped when he grabbed her waist. She knew she wouldn't be able to escape now. "Oh, so you hate playboys?" he murmured, his breath brushing against her neck. She shut her eyes tightly as her lips parted in shock. "Yes, I do. I hate them," she whispered, trembling. "Stop denying it, Rav," he said softly. "Everything you said when you were drunk, it was the truth, wasn't it?" He turned away, but Ravenna rushed after him. She grabbed his hand, but he was too strong. She stumbled and fell into his chest. Looking up into his face, she felt the same thunderous pounding in her chest. But this time, she didn't hesitate. She let her fingers trail down to his chest, then stopped and pressed one finger into it. "It's not true," she whispered. "I was just drunk that night. I don't like you." Seth smirked. "You can turn the tables, R." "Really? Then let's see who falls first. Whoever falls, loses." "Whoever falls, leaves," Ravenna replied, her voice full of challenge. Seth's breath caught when Ravenna leaned in and bit his neck lightly, followed by a teasing kiss that sent shivers down his spine. "Then make me yours, Mr. LaFontaine," he said, eyes dark with intent. "Oh, I will. You'll fall for me, Seth. I'll win, and you'll be the one who walks away in the end." Seth held her gaze with the same intensity. "If I fall for you, Rav, I'll be the one to kneel before you. But I'm warning you, if I love, I give everything. I don't do halfway." "Don't worry, Daddy," she smirked. "I'm yours, if I fall for you. But first, let's test your patience." She gently traced her hand down his arm, kissed him lightly on the cheek, and whispered in his ear, "Dream of me. You'll see me naked in your dreams." Then she walked away, leaving Seth clenching his fists and staring at the mischievous grin plastered on his cousins' faces. Her words haunted him all night. After the cruise ship event, the teasing and banter resumed between them. Nothing was official, but everything felt different now. "Ravenna, someone's looking for you downstairs," her mother called out as she entered her daughter's bedroom with a wide smile. "I don't feel like entertaining anyone. I'm too lazy to get up," Ravenna groaned. "Just send them up if it's really important." Her mother sighed audibly. Ravenna could hear her talking to someone outside her room. "You're so lazy, de La Fontaine," a familiar voice said. Ravenna sat up abruptly, eyes widening when she recognized the voice and the grin on Seth's face. She immediately hugged herself. "What are you doing in my room?" "Your mom told me to go right in. Now get up, young lady. We're going somewhere." "No way." "Oh, I get it. You think I'm doing the same stuff you do to your flings. Well, too bad. I know you're already in love with me. You said so yourself." "Shut up, Seth." "What? You said it. You've got feelings for me." "No, I don't. You're twisting things around, making me admit something that isn't true." Ravenna raised a brow, clearly annoyed. Seth watched her carefully. "No, don't confuse me." "Then stop confusing me," she snapped back, now visibly irritated. "Nope, I'm not. Now get up, m'lady. We're going to be late." "Late to what?" "My mom and dad want to meet you." "Why?" "I don't know." "Are you crazy? Since when did my mom become your mom?" "Since earlier. She said to call her mom. Said I'm already her son-in-law." "Stop calling my mom that." "Well, should I call your mom too, then? Since we're going to be together anyway." "You think I'll say yes to you and then you'll just leave me? I'll break you, Seth." "No, no, no. Where's the 'you're going to be mine' Seth confidence now?" "Oh, it's still here," she challenged. "No way I'm letting you be my downfall." "I am your downfall. I've already sealed your fate, Seth. There's nothing you can do about it." Despite all her resistance, Ravenna found herself being dragged out by Seth. Her mother was no help. She had clearly been won over. Eventually, Ravenna gave in and agreed to go meet his parents. As soon as they arrived, Seth's mother pulled Ravenna into a warm hug. It was a simple garden lunch with Seth's parents. Surprisingly, Ravenna felt no discomfort. "So, when's the wedding, son?" Seth's father asked, his tone calm, but with an unmistakable edge of excitement. Ravenna froze. "Call me Dad or Papa," his father insisted. She glanced at Seth, who merely smiled. "Dad, Seth and I are just friends, that's all," she said. Seth's mom looked at him. "Is that true?" Yes, Dad, Seth said. But I thought you and she… I expected more. I'm disappointed, son. I thought you'd finally shape up for someone like her. I'm sorry, Tito. Thank you for the lunch, but I have to go. I'm not feeling well, Ravenna said as she stood up to leave. The truth hit her like a ton of bricks. While she had fun playing with people's feelings, she hadn't realized how deep the consequences could be. Seth's parents had begun to expect something real between them, based on what they saw. And now, even she couldn't deny how close she'd grown to Seth. She feared acknowledging the truth, that she had already fallen for him. But Seth's mixed signals only made it harder. I should stop here, she told herself. This game should end. His parents think we're together. But my feelings have gotten deeper. This isn't a game anymore. It's becoming real. A full week passed without a single word from Ravenna. Seth couldn't help but wonder why she suddenly disappeared. When he went to her house, she wasn't there. She wasn't answering his calls either. Even Gemini stayed silent, refusing to say where her friend was. What am I doing? Seth asked himself. I should be happy, so why do I feel so miserable? Is it true? Had he actually fallen for her? Could his mom have been right? When the doorbell rang, he rushed to open it, hoping it would be her, but was immediately disappointed when it turned out to be Aris. Oh, wow, you're really excited to open the door for me, huh? Aris teased. I remember when I had to call and beg just to get you to open up. What do you want? Seth asked, clearly annoyed. Nothing. You just look like you're waiting for someone. I'm not waiting for her, Aris. I don't like Ravenna, and I never will. I didn't say any names. Man, you're so obvious, Aris muttered, loud enough for Seth to hear. What? You know, there's nothing wrong with being in love, Seth. You're human. Your heart wants what it wants. You can try to beat it out of yourself, but if you love her, it'll show up in your soul. Are you saying I love her already? She's not your first, right? Not the first woman you've taken to bed, or the first you tried to pursue, or even the first you crushed on. But what matters is, she's the one you want to share your world with. She might not be the first in everything, but she's the last one to leave a mark on your heart and soul. She's the woman you never thought would exist. I don't know what love even means, Seth muttered. I don't know how it's supposed to feel. Neither did I, Aris said. Not until my Aphrodite in disguise walked into my life. She taught me what love is. Don't be like Gian. He had Aina, and he still blew it by pushing her away. Don't waste your chance. You've been trying to deny this from the start, just because you're afraid she might hurt you. I'm so confused, Aris, Seth admitted. Aris patted him on the shoulder. Before it's too late, think about what's really in here. He pointed to Seth's chest. What does your heart want? It's not lust or infatuation, Seth. You can lie with your words, but your eyes and actions say otherwise. Even when you're denying it, your every move betrays you. Seth closed his eyes, swallowing hard. That truth pierced deeper than he expected. Why did it hit him so hard, if it wasn't true? Oh, by the way, Aris added, there's a groomsmen's party later tonight. Thunder is organizing it. They wanted to do it at a club to pick up girls, but I said no, you better show up. When the groomsmen's party finally rolled around, Seth showed up despite the emotional storm brewing inside him. It was held in the garden of Thunder's estate, set up like a small camping party, with drinks and lights strung across the trees. Let's start the party, Thunder shouted. All the cousins were there, laughing, drinking, reminiscing about their days as single men. Serge, boy, you've gone all quiet, Thunder pointed out. Is he heartbroken? Pierre joked. Does she know? Gian asked seriously. Know what? Seth asked, confused. The De La Fontaine family is having the wedding of the year, Gian said. The last De La Fontaine is getting married. Arranged marriage. Heard the groom's part of some big-time business empire. Who's the groom? Seth asked immediately. No one knows, Cloud answered. Gemini told me this morning that Ravenna left to meet her fiancé in Tagaytay. Sounds like they're rushing the wedding. Ares even went with her. Azel punched Aris in the arm. That must have been an emergency. Ravenna left right after the party. Aris told us because Gemini called him crying. Seth suddenly stood up, panic flooding him. He started to run. Where are you going? The cousins shouted after him. I have to stop the wedding. Ravenna de la Fontaine is going to marry me. I can't imagine her being with another man, he yelled. Wait, Seth, Cloud called after him. What? Seth asked breathlessly. You don't even know where she is. You might get there and find out the wedding's over already. What do I do? He asked, clearly shaken. There's a chopper in the back, Cloud said. Before Cloud could finish, Seth shoved past Aris and sprinted to the back of the mansion. No hesitation. He boarded the chopper, waiting there. The sun was just beginning to rise as the cousins arrived at their destination. A vehicle was already waiting to take them to the chapel. The chopper only had 6 seats, so they had to squeeze in close. When they finally reached the chapel, Seth jumped out and ran inside, just in time to shout, "Stop the wedding!" His eyes widened. Ravenna wasn't there. At that very moment, Ravenna was speeding toward Tagaytay, desperate to stop a wedding she believed was Seth's. Gemini had called her in the middle of the night, crying, claiming that Seth was going to marry someone else. She was breathless, her chest tightening as she ran up the path toward the chapel, just in time to see Seth stepping outside. Seth, you can't marry someone else, she cried out. You're supposed to be my mom's future son-in-law. You belong with me. What? Seth said, stunned. I thought you were the one getting married. No, Gemini said you were the one getting married, so I rushed here to stop it. They both stared at each other, and then burst into laughter, realizing the absurdity of what had just happened. The sound of clapping and teasing came from behind them. Their friends and family had followed. So, are you two just gonna stand there staring at each other, or can we eat now? Frost complained. Confess already, Seth. You're acting like a lovesick kid. Someone teased. Dude, have mercy. It was a long trip with no stopovers. If you don't confess now, I swear I'm eating grass, Cloud added dramatically. Confess what? Seth played dumb. Look at this guy, Aris muttered. Everything's so obvious and he still won't admit it. You were literally praying last night that Ravenna wouldn't marry anyone else. Don't be like Gian, Azel snapped. He had a good woman and still chickened out. Same with you and Ravenna. Perfect match. We're not, Ravenna and Seth said at the same time. Oh, so the arranged marriage is off then? Gemini jumped in. Seth let out a deep breath and walked toward Ravenna. Look, I'm sorry, he began. I've already lost. I've loved you from the beginning. I just didn't want to admit it. I was scared of getting hurt in the end. Seth, I'm not joking around, Ravenna whispered as he came closer. You saved me, Seth said softly. I feel like I'm drowning without your love. Ravenna de la Fontaine, in front of your family and friends. I, Seth Austin Montgomery, the great unbothered playboy, have fallen in love with you. No matter how many times I tried to deny it, hide it, I lost to it anyway. I love you, that's the truth. Ravenna was stunned as Seth dropped to one knee. I'm sorry, love. Please take me back. Come back to me. Come home to me. Come home to your daddy. Ravenna smacked his shoulder for calling himself Daddy again. I love you too. I was just scared, she admitted. Scared I'd get hurt if I gave in to my feelings. So promise me one thing, Rav, Seth said. Yes, anything. Just me? Only me, he said, lifting his gaze to her. It was always you from the beginning. It will always be you, Seth, Ravenna said. You didn't even want to look at me at first. But I told you, you'd beg me to take you back. Fine, we're good now, she added playfully. Just don't let me find out you said, "It will always be you," to anyone else. Seth stood up and pulled her into a tight hug. Thank you, Lord, he whispered, kissing her forehead, then her nose, and finally, her lips. Ugh, you two are so gross. I'm starving. Cloud groaned. Call the priest already. Let's get this wedding done so we can eat, someone shouted. Wedding? Yes, girl, this is it, Gemini cried. Seth Austin Montgomery is the groom, and Ravenna de la Fontaine is the bride. They called the priest and proceeded with the ceremony. There weren't many guests, just the people closest to them. It was spontaneous. Not even the bride and groom knew it would happen. They stayed in Tagaytay for a short honeymoon. The days passed quickly, and neither of them could fully believe what had happened in the past few weeks. What had started as a dare had ended in marriage. My pretty goddess wife is cooking something, Seth murmured as he walked into the kitchen and wrapped his arms around Ravenna from behind. It was still early, but she was already preparing breakfast. Oh my God, Seth, stop, I'm cooking, she giggled as he kissed the back of her neck. Fine, I'll just stay right here behind you and hug you while you cook, he said, refusing to let go. She let him. It had become their morning routine, him distracting her while she tried to cook. When breakfast was done, they sat together at the table. Mornings are the best, especially waking up to my beautiful wife who's also an amazing cook. Seth grinned. I've never been satisfied before, but now, you and me, we're good. You're so cheesy, Seth. Eat your breakfast, she replied, rolling her eyes playfully. You're blushing. Am not. You are. Fine, I'll just be flattered silently so you don't get too cocky. I love you too, Rav, he said, puckering his lips. Whatever, don't sit next to me tonight when we sleep. What? But I need my wife. No wife means no husband. Don't sit near me while I'm eating, she snapped playfully. Seth only laughed and fed her a spoonful of food. As usual, he washed the dishes afterward, while Ravenna lounged in the living room, watching TV. Soon, Seth joined her, lying down with his head in her lap. Are you sure we have to go home tomorrow? Ravenna asked. We've only been married a few days, Seth. It's Gemini's birthday tomorrow, baby. She's my best friend. I have to be there. We're gonna live together anyway. Unless you want to stay at your mum's? No way. You're living with me now. You're my wife, he pouted like a child. Ravenna pinched his cheek. They spent the whole day watching movies hand in hand. Seth even cooked dinner that night. After their short Tagaytay honeymoon, they headed straight to the club where Gemini's birthday celebration was held. She and Aris were already on the dance floor. When Ravenna arrived, Seth couldn't take his eyes off her. She wore a red tube party dress that hugged every curve of her body. He walked up behind her with a jacket in hand and draped it over her shoulders. What are you doing? She asked as they moved to the counter. Those idiots are staring at you, he muttered, annoyed. And so what? Everyone in this club knows me. It's normal for them to stare. I mean, look at me, she said confidently. Yeah, and I hate it. Why are they staring at my territory? So you're jealous? Yes, they're staring at what's mine, and you're mine. I hate it when other guys look at you. My wife is too gorgeous. I've got too much competition. Cut it out, Seth. Your jealousy is going to get you in trouble. Is there a specific location for jealousy? What is it? I'm jealous in Manhattan. I'm jealous in Jersey City, he said sarcastically. You're ridiculous, she laughed. You're cute, though. Daddy's being jealous. My baby's so cute when he's mad. Then kiss me on the lips, he said. She didn't refuse. Their kiss started soft, but deepened quickly, only interrupted by a waiter walking past. Ravenna leaned against his shoulder when they sat down at the bar. I had a crush on you for a long time, Seth said. I saw you at that assembly for the biggest company in the country. You looked like a goddess who came down from the heavens. You were damn beautiful that night. I kept coming to that club just to see you. And I'm the one who made the first move, she added. Ravenna Montgomery, Serena Montgomery, Venom Montgomery, Race Montgomery, Riss Montgomery, Seth listed proudly. Ravenna looked up at him, confused. Who are those? The names of our kids, all 5 of them. Me and you, huh? I want to see little versions of my baby. You carry them. I'll be the cheerleader, he teased. She laughed, and he played with her fingers, kissing them one by one. All our kids' names are a combination of ours. I'm happy with you. And with our future family, I'm already content. I was right. I sealed your fate. I made Seth Austin Montgomery mine. Yeah, you won, she grinned. You were so good at it, I couldn't resist. I fell hard. You're so corny, Seth. I bewitched you with my cooking skills. Oh, please stop. I'm about to laugh at you. She swallowed hard when his hand crept up her arm. He leaned into her neck. Oh, yeah. I can make you laugh in public and moan in private, he whispered. She smacked his arm. That wife and husband stuff is just between us. You're so loud, Daddy. I love you for everything, Ravenna. I love you too, Seth Austin Montgomery. I'll be with you in every timeline, in every lifetime. You're my favorite lesson. 3 years later, Ravenna was about to give birth to their first child. Everyone was in a frenzy, especially Seth, who was running around gathering everything for his wife and baby. Thankfully, he was allowed into the delivery room to be with her during labor. Ravenna held tightly onto his shoulders. You got this, Just push. Breathe in, breathe out, the doctor said again. You jerk, Seth. This is the last time. Next time you carry the baby, Ravenna screamed. Don't worry, baby. There are 4 more to go. Raven, Serena, Race, and Urgent, Seth said. You bastard. You give birth next time. Then they heard the first cry of their son. Moments later, he was placed beside a weak but smiling Ravenna. He's so handsome, Seth said, tears in his eyes. He looks like you, Ravenna whispered. Our baby. He's perfect. Thank you, Seth. No, my love. Thank you. We're a family now. I love you, and I love our child. He kissed both of them before stepping out of the delivery room to prepare the private suite for his wife and son. The end. This is Mr. Hope. I love you all.